Have you ever driven past a massive new factory or seen a huge bridge going up and just thought to yourself, how on earth does something like that get built? How do you take a wild idea and turn it into a billion-dollar, real-world project? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the blueprint for making it happen.
I mean, really think about it. How do you build a billion-dollar factory from the ground up? It's a massive question, right? And the answer, it isn't just about pouring concrete or welding steel. It's about a super detailed, incredibly disciplined process that turns a big dream into a finished reality. So let's jump right in and see how it's done.
You know, every single mega project, it doesn't matter how complicated it is, it always starts in the exact same place, with a plan. And we're not talking about a sketch on the back of a napkin here. We're talking about the foundational document that is going to guide literally every single decision from here on out.
And this right here is the absolute heart of it. Without this baseline, you're basically just flying blind. The source material says it perfectly. If you don't have a solid plan, you're just constantly reinventing the wheel. And that just means you're wasting time, you're burning through money, and you could even lose your spot in the market. So planning isn't just a good idea. It is the bedrock of the entire project.
Okay, so before you even think about breaking ground, you have to figure out who this project is for and who you're working with. And as you can see, that list is long. You've got your internal bosses, your future customers, government agencies, the local community, your suppliers. I mean, everyone has a say, and they all have different needs and worries. The plan has to figure all of that out and get everyone on the same page. If you mess this part up, you're basically planning for delays and budget problems from day one.
So once you know what you're building and who it's for, the next giant question is always the same. What's this thing gonna cost? Figuring out the price tag on a mega project is a whole science, and it all starts by breaking it down into the smallest possible pieces.
And this is where it gets really cool. You take this giant, abstract idea of a factory, and you turn it into a manageable list, using something called a code of accounts. Every single thing gets a code and a category. We're talking everything from the land itself, to the equipment, to the workers' salaries, to every nut and bolt. This creates an incredibly detailed financial map that makes sure no cost gets forgotten. You know, managing costs isn't just about the big-ticket items. It's about getting all the little details right, too. Like materials. If you order way too much stuff, you're paying a fortune just to store it. But if you order too little, you could shut down the whole project. That's where this formula comes in, the economic order quantity, or EOQ. It helps find that perfect sweet spot.
And this is a perfect example of how it works. So, the source talks about a tractor company that needs 15,000 engines a year. They run the numbers through that EOQ formula, factoring in their ordering costs and storage costs, and it spits out a number, 791. That is the most cost-effective number of engines for them to order at one time. Now imagine applying that kind of detailed math to thousands of different items. We're talking millions of dollars in savings. All right, so we've got the what and the why. Now, it's time for the how. How do you actually organize a task this monumental? Well, that's where the project blueprint really comes into play. Let's be real. You don't just build a factory. You build it one piece at a time. And this hierarchy is how you make it happen. You start with the work breakdown structure, the WBS, which chops the whole project into big main parts. Then the project breakdown structure, or PBS, organizes those parts by area, like this section of the building, that assembly line. And finally, you get down to the nitty-gritty, the detailed, specific tasks. It's how you take an impossible goal and turn it into a simple to-do list.
But, you know, a plan is just a stack of paper until people actually start doing the work. At the end of the day, a project's success comes down to the people building it, and, just as important, how those people are managed.
And this is fascinating. It shows two completely opposite ways to think about management, called Theory X and Theory Y. So a Theory X manager basically believes people are lazy and you have to force them to work. But a Theory Y manager, they believe people are naturally motivated and want to do a good job. The manager's belief system here is a huge deal. It shapes the entire culture of the project. It's really a choice between top-down control and creative collaboration.
Here's a hard truth. No matter how perfect your plan is, things will go wrong. It's just a fact of life. So the best project managers, they don't just cross their fingers and hope for the best. They create a detailed blueprint for what to do when the unexpected happens. And wow, the potential for things to go sideways is huge. Just look at this list. You've got technical risks, like a design flaw. You have market risks, like the economy tanking. You've even got the risk of deliberate sabotage. A really solid risk plan thinks about all of these possibilities and more, and comes up with a game plan to handle them before they turn into project-killing disasters.
And the stakes for getting this wrong? They are incredibly high. This quote really nails it. It's pointing out that the legal landscape has totally changed. It used to be buyer beware, right? But now, with all this complex technology, the responsibility is on the manufacturer. The company is on the hook for failures, which makes managing risk absolutely essential.
So, how do you deal with that kind of responsibility? Well, one of the key strategies is something called defensive design. This just means you design things to be safe, even if someone uses them the wrong way. A great example is a power saw that won't start unless you push a safety button first. That's defensive design. It's a simple, smart way to plan for human error and prevent accidents before they happen.
Okay, so you've done it. After years of planning, building, and managing every possible risk, the project is done. The factory is up and running. But that brings us to the biggest, most important question of all. Was it worth it?
And the answer isn't just about looking at the final price tag. You measure true success with a tool called economic analysis. What this does is look at the entire life of the project. It weighs every single cost against every single benefit, even benefits that are years down the road, to figure out what the project's real long-term value is.
And at the end of the day, the data tells the story. Tools like these give you a clear, straight answer. So in this case, the project cost $1.2 billion, but its projected value over time is $1.5 billion. That benefit-cost ratio of 1.25, that means for every single dollar they invested, they expect to get $1.25 back. That's a clear financial win.
So there you have it. From a spark of an idea to a complex, working reality, that's the blueprint for success. It really shows you that the greatest things we build aren't just made with steel and glass. They're built with meticulous plans, with incredible foresight, and with a truly disciplined process. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? As we look to the future, what incredible projects will we decide to build next?